Player 4 podcast.
What happened to the intro music?
Oh, nuts! That's right, we gotta be in the other voice for that. Oh, well.
Oh, God, that's great.
This is the Player 4 podcast. Join us each week as we talk about video games, entertainment, and pop culture, and bring in guests from the Rooster Teeth community. Player 4 has entered the game.
Alright, I'm not doing another intro. That was before that. So, welcome to the Player 4 podcast.
Hello, I am your host, Tristan, aka Shagrazir, on the Rooster Teeth website.
I am Alex, aka KS Black 21.
I am Malachi, aka Sukikiba.
And I'm Joseph, aka Jay Dunlap, from the same show.
The same show. Now, I think that would be what you'd call our cold opens from before. Thank you, Alex. We had a couple items on the docket this week. Malachi, I believe they are New Year's and some Elder Scrolling with Joseph. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes?
Are you sure he's not scrolling elders?
I think he is an elder that is scrolling his PC right now. Come on, Mal. Get young.
Get young.
Get young! Malachi, why don't you tell us what you did for New Year's this year? How was your New Year? It is now 2019, Malachi.
And your point?
What did you do about it?
No, I just mean it's 2019, yay.
Does it feel like a new year?
Do you feel older?
It feels like last year.
Do you feel older and wiser?
No, not at
Well,
all. Well, what I did was no one was doing anything, and no one cared to say anything to Malachi about doing anything. So it worked out, though. I was like, Dad, you want me to come have dinner with you? And he's like, sure. You have to pick up some more crab legs, though. Well, we ended up having, he likes to do king crab legs for New Year's. So me and my dad sat there, watched Twilight Zone, and we're eating king crab legs.
I was concerned you were watching Twilight.
No. Twilight Zone.
A much better
Is that
choice.
the sequel to Twilight?
Yes. It's got significantly fewer vampires for some odd reason. I think they just didn't test well with the focus groups.
I mean, there's a difference between actual vampires and sparkly glitter pieces of shit.
Whoa. Hostility. Tell us how you really feel, Alex.
Sparkly walking things of glass?
I feel like Twilight Zone would be the mobile app version of the Twilight books.
Oh, God. No, don't insult Twilight Zone like that.
I'll never stoop to that level.
I don't know that Twilight would never stoop to that level for, profits.
Anyway, so yeah, I had king crab legs with my dad, and we watched Twilight Zone. And then my dad went to bed mildly early, so I ended up going over to my mom's, and I shared some drinks and just hung out, and we watched the countdown in New York City, which was very rainy here in New York for New Year's. So people in New York got rained on, and so did we. But,
yeah, I was not envious of those people.
So, yeah, I ended up just hanging out there and passed out at Mom's, and then here we are in the new year.
Exciting. What did you do,
Here we
Joseph?
are. That was 2 days ago, Malachi. Did you sleep the whole 2 days?
Maybe.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Wow, thanks, Tristan.
Welcome, buddy.
Oh, so you asked me about my New Year's.
Yeah.
I told you the long and short of it last week, which is we'll make a plan and then they'll ask us what the plan is. But it was a lot simpler this time.
Oh, did they not ask you what the plan was this time? They just did it?
They just did it. So we went to Mimi and Papa's, and Harley was there. That's my brother-in-law with his fiance and her son, and we all just sort of hung out. There were dogs everywhere.
Oh, goodness. How many dogs were there? Joseph, did you pet a dog?
Well, okay. Gina grew up with about a dozen dogs.
God, that's so many dogs.
Yeah,
That's
a
so
few of
many
them
dogs.
died, but they've replaced them. And then Harley brought us 2 dogs that aren't quite
The
housebroken
queen of
yet.
doggos.
No, you have to housebreak the dogs, otherwise you have a problem.
Oh, there was a problem. They were humping everything.
No,
Oh,
that's
God.
also a
That's
problem.
part of the problem. The other
Different
problem
from
is
housebreaking.
number 1 and number 2.
Yeah,
That would be an issue. It didn't happen.
this was problem number 3.
Yeah.
Is that a combined problem?
That's all that happened. Otherwise, we went home, and then, as I said last week, we watched Thor Ragnarok, and it ended about 30 minutes before midnight. Got the kids in bed and just played Skyrim for a little bit and went to bed.
Oh. Did you even, say yay when the clock struck midnight, or was it, oh, hey, it's after midnight?
I was just playing, and Gina was doing something else, and I was like, "Oh, it's midnight."
Oh no, we're becoming boring old people.
Hey, yeah.
I'm sorry, Joseph's becoming boring old people.
Talk for yourself.
Okay. Alex, tell me you did something exciting.
I went to a friend's house, and a bunch of us just hung out and played party games, and I brought over some toasted raviolis, and there was chicken wings and pretzels and dip and all that. And we then poured some champagne and counted down the last minute, and then we cheersed and drank our champagne after it turned New Year's.
And then they all kissed you.
No.
Oh, that would have been exciting.
No, there were 2 couples there that kissed, but no, I had no one.
That's sad.
Wait, 2 couples kissed you? That's hot.
No,
Okay. Then suddenly it's better again.
no.
I decided to invade Sam's place because he only lives about a half hour away now, so I can go and bother him whenever I want, almost. He actually went to work on Monday. I don't know why. My office was open on Monday, and even I said, I don't need money that desperately. I did not go in on Monday. But after he got done with work, I went down to Cambridge, and we went to the store to get provisions to make food. So I said, we're going to make food, and we're going to hang out until it turns New Year's. And so we got pasta. We made spicy chicken macaroni and cheese because we wanted something easy to make, but also delicious. And we knew that spicy chicken mac and cheese is not hard, but is good.
That does sound freaking super delicious.
Yeah.
That sounds so good. I'm not even going to say the innuendo I was going to say.
Oh, Joseph. Remember,
just
we can't bleep stuff out.
I was going to say easy and good, like Tristan.
Bleep.
Bleep.
I didn't bleep it in time. So we made food, and then we were eating food, and we were watching anime, and what else we watched? We caught back up on Ruby, which we were only missing 1 episode. Apparently, they didn't do a release the week of Christmas. We watched the 2 episodes of Steven Universe that are out, and then we were watching The Land of the Lustrous, and then midnight happened, and we were in the middle of one of the episodes of Land of the Lustrous, and I pointed at my watch. I said, Sam, it's New Year's. And we spent about the next minute with our hands in the air, waving our fingers around in the air. It was a celebratory hand wave.
And then it became Land of the Lust.
Wow. For us.
So,
Jazz hands?
was this after it turned midnight, and then you realized that it turned midnight?
No, I told him, I pointed at my watch when it was 2 minutes ahead of time. And then I looked at my phone, and my phone was like, "No, it's midnight now." And I was like, "Oh, I need to fix my watch." Although my watch matches my computer right now.
Your watch was not ready to go into the new year.
I don't know. I'm looking at it now, and my watch and my phone. Well, okay, no, my watch is like 25 seconds behind my phone right now. It's not big. That's doable. But yeah, so we had delicious food, we had fun shows, and we were together. And then we played Smash against Derek the next day. And
you beat him?
Several times. He also beat us. We couldn't figure out how it was selecting the stage we were playing on, and 9 times out of 10 it did the same stage over and over, which neither of us liked. We assume it was whatever he had it set to. And
It's possible.
But it's possible. But like for the first many matches, he was spamming Cloud against us, and we're like, okay, like he's pretty good with Cloud. Eventually, we started beating Cloud, but we were always using a different character, and so eventually he started changing characters, and then he couldn't beat us at all. So Sam turns to me and he's like, "I'm just waiting for him to go back to Cloud." And then like the very next match, he goes back to Cloud. He's like, "Yep, we made him mad."
Yeah, Cloud has no recovery, but he is stupid strong.
Derek makes the mistake of using his down B to charge limit a lot, which, while it means that if he hits you with it, he does a lot of damage, he becomes very predictable. And so I went Cloud. After he went back to Cloud, I went Cloud, and I beat him with Cloud. So I felt really good about that. It was a Cloud battle. It's a joke.
Was it in the sky?
That was New Year. It was good. I had a good time. Spent the night at Sam's, and now I had to work today. And actually, it wasn't too bad. It was really noticeably noisy in the office today by comparison to last week when I was working, and I was one of like 30 people in the entire building.
So
how many people are usually in that building?
Like 150.
Wow.
Maybe more. I actually don't know. It's 3 floors of engineering and business and whatever else they have there. I only know like the 6 people I work with.
So yeah, we're talking about clouds, and clouds are in the sky, which sounds like Skyrim.
Segueing, guys. Hold on, I'm gonna ride this Segway right over to Joseph's house.
Is his cloud?
Guys, little known fact: there are rims in the sky.
Oh,
what?
There are rims on my Segway too. Hold on, okay, this joke is old now. So, Joseph, you started playing Skyrim on your Xbox recently. Is that correct?
360, but yes.
That's not a current generation system.
I'm sorry.
You should be. So what prompted this? And is this a recent acquisition? No, you've had it for playing Minecraft and watching movies. Never mind. I knew you had that.
Yeah, I've had the Xbox for quite a while.
I could be mean and say it's old and outdated like Joseph.
Oh! So is Skyrim a recent acquisition?
I'm hurt.
No. You can be hurt and answer my questions. It is possible.
To answer your question, Dude 1 Billion says he needs practice against humans, so he can play someone other than like the 2 or 3 characters he's good
I was
with.
really hoping he'd be there for when I talked shit about him. Beep. He did good. Like there were some significantly difficult battles, and no, I did not always win against him. So
okay, Skyrim.
Yeah.
I bought a used copy of Skyrim last year.
Okay.
And I played about 3 or 4 hours. I did this. I got to where you kill your first dragon, and Lydia's helping you, and then you go up the mountain to talk to the guys who go, "Huh."
That's accurate. Yeah, you go talk to the Greybeards. Okay.
Then I got bored. I was reading the chat. It said I was I was, yeah, jerk. Yeah, I was your jerk. That's what he said. So I said something that was a combination of words.
You can do it. I believe in your ability to read.
I think I said Burke.
Burp.
Anyway, I got bored. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing, or not so much what I was supposed to be doing, like, oh, tell me what quest to do. Railroad me, please. It was more, what am I supposed to be doing right now? So I stopped.
And so you're aware that the journal exists, right?
The journal.
So, among your many menus for the game, you have there's a journal in there, or it's still J on the PCs to get to, even if it doesn't look like a journal in any way. But it keeps track of all of the different little quest lines you've taken on and whether or not you've done them yet. And you can you can put little markers next to it and say, I want to focus on this one, and it will start appearing the markers for that quest on your map so that you can follow them on your compass, rather.
Yes. I am aware of that. Okay. I didn't know that's what you were talking about, but fast forward, I stopped playing it mostly because I didn't want to play a game by myself that wasn't well, if I'm going to play a game where I can't have someone help me, then it's typically going to be a Mass Effect game.
Mm-hmm.
And
is Mass Effect, does that not have a open world aspect to it?
It's kind of...
I haven't played.
But not really. Like, it depends. Like, you can kind of go around, but like you literally have to go planet to planet, and it's not like super big.
Mm-hmm. I also know that Mass Effect is a character-driven game where they've created the characters and you're living, vicariously the lives of these characters, and that's where Skyrim can be tough for some players, where you're not playing a person with a personality. You're not playing a character, really. You are in effect role-playing, but you don't have any you don't have a lot of social interaction with the world.
Yeah, the first few, like Andromeda, I think had the most open worldness to it, but nobody really considers Andromeda a Mass Effect game.
I was going to say, didn't that one get panned?
Yep, it was. Yeah, people shunned it. The other ones though were I would say they're more linear than they were open world. You could drive around on the planet and go to where you wanted to on the planet, but I wouldn't call it open world.
There wasn't a lot to do if you weren't going for the main storyline.
Yeah.
And Skyrim was kind of the other thing, where there is lots of stuff to do that is not the main storyline, and it can keep you busy for years.
Yeah, I actually tend to try to find as many side quests as I can before I do the main storyline.
No, the thing was that, like, at least Joseph went up to see the guys who say "huh," because I didn't. The first time on the playthrough, I was like, I don't really want to get stuck, feeling like I'm on the time crunchy part of the storyline, because I'd like to have a little bit of the story does tend to eventually take on a bit of impetus. And so I was like, I know that you're never actually time crunched, but I don't want to be like, you need to get there quickly before this thing all falls apart. And nobody had said anything like that yet. And I felt like if I went to the mountain, they'd say that. And I was like, then I need to go do the other things first. And I gave myself my own little side quest. I'm like, I will get the rest of the Fusro Dash out before going up the mountain. That seems like a good way of making sure that I'm kind of doing this in a timely manner, which seemed like a great idea until I'd visited like 40 shout walls and still hadn't found a single other word in Fusroda. And then went up there sheepishly and found out that the only way to get the rest of the Fusroda out is to talk to the guys who say, huh?
Yep.
That was an interesting one. I still love Skyrim, but yeah, that was me trying to avoid getting stuck in the main storyline and then realizing that I hadn't gone quite far enough in it.
So, Joseph, you picked it back up. How far did you actually get now?
It's my turn. So continuing the same conversation we're having here with Tristan and comparing BioWare with Bethesda, because my gay best friend Brandon is a huge Bethesda player, so we talk about the difference between them all the time. So I go over to his place, he's playing Skyrim. I go over there, his roommate is playing Fallout, yeah. And we're talking about playstyles and all that. So for Christmas, Gina got me Dragon Age Inquisition.
Oh no.
And she was saying, I can't wait for you to play your Christmas present when you get it. And I'm like, is it sheet music? Is it a game? I don't know what it's going to be.
Yeah, there are a lot of things I can play.
So I popped it in, I started playing and got bored after 3 hours.
Oh no.
Not the good kind of bored like with Skyrim where I didn't know what to do, but I knew there was plenty of things to do. More like, how is this from the same company that made Mass Effect? I didn't understand.
Yeah, I didn't understand Dragon Age when somebody made me play it either, and I've only played the few hours that they made me play with them, and the only reason it was fun was because there was a group of us. But they absolutely loved the game.
I tweeted out my frustration at it and found that it was really just a rushed product that was receiving goodwill that sort of trickled from
a game 2 games ago.
Yeah, all the way through the entire Dragon Age franchise that lived on the popularity of a studio, whereas Mass Effect was just genuinely amazing until the one that didn't happen.
Right.
At all. Didn't happen. I even watched Mortem that came out in December of last year, December 2018, that is. That was a year and a half ago post-mortem. And was talking about the issues within the studio and saying that the studio that made the Mass Effect games was tasked to do Dragon Age Inquisition. So then a studio that hadn't ever done the actual construction of a game had to do Mass Effect Andromeda. They were both up in Canada, and they were sort of stealing ideas from each other. But in either case, the Experience Studio, Vancouver, still had to rush Dragon Age Inquisition, and that's why it was just the glitchiest, buggiest thing. I'll be jumping up the side of a hill, and I'd look like a spastic idiot. The combat system didn't make sense to me because I felt like there was more advantage to the game that I was actually receiving. So all that to say, I shelved it and thought to myself, there's some open world zone stuff going on here that I feel like Bethesda could do better. So I just pulled out Skyrim and started playing it basically the next day. Gina and the kids wanted to watch more Christmas specials. It was directly following Christmas, so yes, exactly. Until the one that didn't happen, says Dude 1 Billion. I set up my old TV I bought in college for my old Xbox to play Halo on. I set that up on the kitchen table and played Skyrim for 3 days straight in the kitchen while everyone watched holiday specials and while you were sleeping and all of that. So I've been playing on and off since this is Wednesday, since I think Thursday of last week. I did take a break on Saturday because I ran out of things to do that I wanted to do, so that I just hopped in the first Mass Effect and got like halfway through it in a few hours. And then I went to Brandon's house for roleplay. No one showed up. So I said, okay, Brandon and Wes, here's how far I've gotten. They're like, you've already learned Fusurda? And I'm like, yeah, I was doing the quest. They're like, no one learns Fusurda that quickly. Like, I was just following the quest.
Yes. If you follow the Greybeard's quest, you will learn it very quickly.
And so I said, okay, I'm lacking in direction here. Tell me what I should do in the following week so that when I get back to your house Sunday, I will have done it. And he said, okay, there's good money to be had in the Thieves Guild and the Dark Brotherhood, but there's more if you become in charge of the Dark Brotherhood. So you're going to take over the Dark Brotherhood, and then you're going to build a house with that money. And I said, okay, there's a goal. So I actually had to turn it off to come record the podcast, but I'm in the storyline where I have to assassinate a very important person.
Yeah, I never do I just can never bring myself to do Dark Brotherhood quests because I'm just not cool with that. But I do know that for Skyrim especially, the end game for the Dark Brotherhood quest line is pretty intense.
I'm only doing it because that was the in real life quest that I got from Brandon, which was finish the Dark Brotherhood storyline and be in charge, and then the quests that you do that are repeatable only take a few minutes and you get a bunch of money. And so I told him I would, so I'm going to.
I love the Dark Brotherhood.
Maybe I won't, but
Wait.
I've got Angorian, Angarian, Argonian. So many games with so many similar names. He's wearing the assassin outfit, and he's jumping around. He's got his little lizard head poking out of the hoodie.
He's got his little lizard head poking out of the hoodie.
I'm like, it's my assassin lizard. And Gina's like, go assassin lizard.
Go assassin lizard.
Murder
do
lizard,
your hoodie thing.
He's
the murder lizard. And I'm like, I gotta do a murder. So I go over and I sneak over next to someone, and they're walking around, and they're walking on the street. Murder lizard. And I shoot him with my arrow and I run off. Murder lizard!
Murder lizard! Go do the Thieves Guild quest and get Nocturnal's Cloak of Shadows. It'll make it even easier.
I actually am also doing that storyline. I got their armor, which is good for pickpocketing and stuff.
Yeah.
So, no, Tristan, did you destroy the Dark Brotherhood?
I don't know. I left them the hell alone.
Is it because... I was going to say, is it because of the history of the story of Elder Scrolls? Because I know you've played evil characters. Why would you be okay with the quest line unless you have a tie to some other part of the story which makes you hate them?
I mean, I've never wanted to play evil characters, really. I only have one, even like if you're talking about D&D, I've only ever played one evil character. It's just he's one of my longest lived characters, like for how many times I go back and continue playing him. No, I really am always trying to be a force for good in the Elder Scrolls as much as I can be. Like whenever, and I love the rich world of the Elder Scrolls, so I'm always trying to make it a better place. And that's where the Dark Brotherhood rides an interesting line because, you know, they of course have their own moral compass for why they do things. I just have never been able to get into it. I think the real issue, my decision to never join the Dark Brotherhood goes back to Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, when I was going around doing my good guy stuff, and something happened and I misinterpreted something and I thought I was being attacked and I ended up killing like a civilian at some point.
Oh no.
And I got a little message in the bottom corner of my screen that says, you know, an unseen force has seen your crime or something like that. And I was like, well, that's ominous. The heck does that mean? And then the next time the game was like, oh, you acquired enough skill points to level up. Go sleep so you can level up, because that's how you had to do it in Oblivion. You had to sleep in order to level up. I went to an inn and I got into bed and I chose my skill points, and then all of a sudden it was like, you're woken up in the middle of the night, and my character wakes up and there's a dude standing next to me in a black outfit, and he's like, you seem like you'd be a good candidate for the Dark Brotherhood. So I murdered the crap out of him, and the Dark Brotherhood never bothered me again. They apparently didn't like it when I killed their envoy.
I will say that the Dark Brotherhood quest starts in a similar way, where you're in a bed in a remote shack, and there's this chick in a red
Astrid
sneaky outfit, Astrid, and she's hanging out, sitting on top of a bookshelf, and she's like, I've got these 3 people. One of them is my contract. Kill one of them.
Yeah, she was great. I have a character that started the Dark Brotherhood quest in one of my plays of Skyrim. I don't remember how far I got, so I have seen that. With my first character, if you don't start the Dark Brotherhood quest, literally nothing in the entire game, like none of the side quests or anything, ever has anything to do with that shack. And of course, I explore everywhere, so I found that shack, and it's just this locked shack. Like, you can't open this door without a key. And I spent hours looking for the key to this shack, trying to figure out what the importance of this shack was.
Wow.
Going through hundreds of hours of playtime and every now and then coming back to this shack going, what is the importance of this? Why can't I get in? And then later playing another character, getting indoctrinated into the Dark Brotherhood and going, oh, hey, here's the inside of that shack.
So funny story
Nice.
about that shack. When I left the shack, a dragon immediately aggroed and the music started. And it was like aggroing like the weird crab things that are hard to kill across the river. So I'm over killing that while also having to fight a crab. So I'm just like, okay, flames go.
You were getting murdered by mud crabs?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, goodness.
They're tough.
Yeah, mud crabs are tougher than they look.
I'm only, I think, level 23 currently, but my
Yeah.
stealth is such that I could be standing like 5 feet from someone and they won't know I'm there.
Final thoughts.
Yeah.
So,
My
yes.
final thought.
Final thoughts was yeah.
My final thoughts, Tristan, is I started reading the books of the history of Skyrim in the game.
Yes.
Gina helped me organize my bookshelves between my 2 houses that I've got so far. And I was reading one book about the true crimes of Ulfric Stormcloak. And I'm like,
Oh,
oh.
nice.
And I connected a whole bunch of dots immediately.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
they do.
cool.
I play it on PC. I added mods to put in more bookshelves so I could put more books in my house.
Oh, jeez.
That's it. Lots of talk more Skyrim and Elder Scrolls in a future date.
Hooray! I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Guess what,
I
guys?
am.
What?
It's time to get the flip out of here. All right. Good night, everyone.
Hashtag goodbye.
Good night, Twitch,
Goodbye.
YouTube, and iTunes.